Okay, let's remember that there are 5 and there's only one emotion that's positive, which is joy. Now, we can go a lot of ways with this. We can take a spiritual direction with it. We can take a scientific direction. I'm just going to tell you what my thought is on this, and you do with it what you want. I think that joy is, in essence, the voice of God in our lives. Now, I think that that is the part of our emotional guidance system to tell us where the path is for us. I think the reason why we have that particular positive emotion, which is a warning system to say, pay attention, this is important, do more of this, pursue this. But joy is a very fragile and delicate emotion. And it's unlike the others, as many of you know, because it can be fleeting and at times it can be very hard to access. But part of the treatment for shame-based trauma is getting our patients to the place where they can recall those experiences that brought them joy in the past. And then to begin to help them to cultivate experiences that bring more of that. I remember being at a dinner party, it was probably 2000, it was before 9/11, so it was late 1990s, 2000. It was again in Santa Fe. And it was a group of, there were a couple of therapists at the table and a couple of artists, and it was a dinner party that happened every week, and we'd get together and talk about art and whatever was happening. And someone came in and said that they had heard something and they wanted us to act out this little exercise. And so she said, imagine that you've died and you've gone to heaven. And St. Peter meets you there at the pearly gates and says, okay, here's what heaven is. You get to repeat one event in your life over and over and over again. What event would that be? Now, I have to tell you, and I wrote about this at one point, it was hard for me. Not because there was such a plethora of joy experiences, but because I really had a hard time identifying an event in my life that I thought was that wonderful that I wanted to repeat it, quite honestly, over and over again. For many of you listening to me right now, it's difficult on that level too. Some of you, it immediately comes to mind, and many, often with children, will say it was the birth of my child at a time that was it's a very salient experience of joy. The reason I offer the exercise to you is because a lot of our work is about identifying those things that bring us joy and learning the skills to cultivate that. But as I said, joy is a very fragile emotion. It is one that needs a lot of care. Now, the second step in treating shame-based trauma is learning skills to regulate negative emotions. This is an area, if you're not aware of it, that is really growing in a huge way in the field. It's about emotion regulation and the understanding that negative emotions like sadness, fear, and anxiety really healthy people learn to regulate them. They innately have the skills, or they have learned them, and those that haven't often struggle with them. Now, if any of you are wondering, am I denying the physiology? No. Clearly, some people are predisposed to experiencing certain emotions more than others. Certain people are more sensitive to their emotions than others. That's beginning to come out as well. So there's obviously a physiological aspect of it. But in general, when we look at psychotherapy, what we've come to understand is that for negative emotions, it's incredibly important to learn the skills to help regulate them so that you know you're feeling sad and what can you do to change that. So you're not denying it, you're not repressing it, you're not pushing it away, you're allowing that sadness to inform you, and then you do something different and you learn a skill for it. We'll talk